Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today we will start the lecture of week number 3. The subject is foundation and pavements, and we have the same topic as we discussed in the second week, which was about the types of foundation. Maybe there is some mistake that is written right now on this page regarding the topic. This is also introduction to foundation engineering, but there should have been written the types of foundation, which is a mistake. So you must be known of this thing. Dear student, let's start the topic, which is the main purpose of being with you people right now. Uh, as we discussed in the last week about the types of foundation, and in the types of foundation, we discussed the shallow foundations, and we almost discussed all the types of shallow foundation, which are known to be the subtypes of shallow foundations, and we also had some pictures of all the types of all the subtypes of the shallow foundation, the definitions and purposes of use of the shallow foundation and the subtypes of the shallow foundations along with the diagrams. So today we will be going towards the next type of foundation, and that is called the deep foundation. So let's start the lecture. Deep foundation. Dear students, we must all know that what is deep foundation and what is the difference between the deep and the shallow foundation. As we discussed, when the depth is equal, when the width is or the depth is equal or less than the width of the foundation, so that foundation is basically known as the shallow foundation. But here, today we will discuss the deep foundation, which is definitely the depth of those foundation is more and more, highly more than the width of the foundations. Mostly in case of high-rise buildings, and similarly when you have the soil which is having poor conditions at the shallow depth, and the structure have high design loads, and the sites have many problems, due to which the shallow foundation cannot be provided. And the next step, when the shallow foundations are rejected, it is to provide the deep foundation, if and only if the building has the huge design loads which cannot be carried by the shallow foundation at a shallow depth. So deep foundations are provided. These kind of foundations have to have to transfer the building loads to the too far below the ground level, to the strata that is too far below the ground level, and which have the higher bearing capacity. So usually they go beyond the 3 meters below the finished ground surface. We will go towards the subtypes of deep foundations, and that is pile foundation, pier foundation, and caissons or well foundation. We will talk about the pile foundation. Pile is a common type of deep foundation, and they are used to reduce cost, and when as per soil condition considerations, it is desirable to transmit loads to soil strata which are beyond the reach of shallow foundations. Pile is basically a cylindrical member with the small cross-sectional area compared to its length. Its length is highly more than the uh, cross-sectional area. It is used to transmit foundations loads to a very deeper soil or a kind of a rock strata that have high bearing capacity, uh, and compared to the shallow depths it has a very much high capacity bearing capacity, and it basically spreads the load either by skin friction or